breeding reptiles seems like a really fun, exciting, and easy way to make a pretty good amount of money. I mean, just look at these ball python people. Putting two snakes together and getting rich that easy? I mean, anyone can do it, so hey, why not me? So today we're going to be talking about how all of that stuff I just said previously really is not true. We'll be going into what it really is like being a reptile breeder and a lot of the misconceptions that surround that career. But before we get into all that stuff, of course, there's one more thing we gotta do, and that is roll the intro. And so starting off, just to give some credentials for maybe people that just stumbled upon this video. Hi, my name's Dakota. I've been a reptile breeder for a number of years. I believe 2 years since 2019. I've been established as an actual business. We breed a variety of animals here, from crested geckos, gargoyle geckos, tokay geckos, monitor lizards. We got a couple of those, and ball pythons. Obviously ball pythons. Every reptile breeder that is trying to be full-time always has ball pythons. But alright, now that you know who I am, and now that you obviously went down there and hit that subscribe button, that like button, let's get into the video. Honestly, I know why most of you guys are here. It's for the big two reasons. How easy is it to breed reptiles and how much money you make breeding reptiles. So we'll cover those two topics first, then go into a little bit of extra stuff. So we'll start with number one, how easy is it to breed reptiles? Now, breeding reptiles seems like a really easy thing. I mean, you put the boy reptile with the girl reptile and then boom, you get babies. It's that easy. Nope, it is not that easy. Now, in some cases, like crested geckos, it can be sometimes like that, where you just put the boy and the girl and then you get eggs. Those are a little bit of the easier reptiles. However, for most, that definitely is not the case. It's not as easy as putting boy, girl, boom, eggs. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of stuff that people don't think about. For instance, with some of the other New Caledonian stuff, other than crested geckos, we're talking about gargoyles, chahuas, lychees. The males and females, especially the males when breeding, can be quite aggressive, and the female's not receptive. She can also be aggressive. This leads to things like injuries and stuff that you have to hold back, so you can't breed that female this year because now she's got a bald scalp, or maybe he got one of the legs, now you got vet bills, things like that. There's a lot that goes into it, and it's definitely not plop two in, boom, get babies. You gotta be vigilant with this stuff or else things definitely go wrong. And then kind of adding on to that, trust me, things will absolutely go wrong. This is not just boom, 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 eggs, babies, sell babies, boom, you're rich. That things just, ask any breeder that's been doing this for any amount of time, not just 1 year, don't ask the 1 year people, but anyone that's been doing this for a few years to, 5 plus, 10, 20, 30, no one has 100% successful rate when breeding reptiles. There are stuff that goes wrong, there are injuries, there are fatalities, eggs don't make it. You got some eggs, oh, they're fertile, oh, your incubator short circuits or your thermostat short circuits, now those eggs are cooked and you don't have good eggs. Stuff just always goes wrong. It is not just an easy job. Quite honestly, this is probably one of the most stressful jobs I've ever had in my life. And that can definitely be disconcerting, heartbreaking, or just plain enraging with, especially animals that don't just have, so like geckos. You get some geckos. How did you get in here? In my set. What? You're supposed to not be in here. This is actually the one room you shouldn't be. A great example of this is most snakes, colubrids, ball pythons, or even live birth givers such as boas and things like that. It's really just a one-shot thing. With a lot of ball pythons, you're just pairing them, feeding, pairing, hoping for the best. You get one shot, now it's about summertime. Oh, those eggs are coming, they're coming. She's coiled around, let's see what we got. Oh, they are like all infertile except for one or two. What did I do wrong? What's going on? Better luck next year, because these guys are a one-shot snake, as I like to call them. They annually only lay eggs, so if they lay some eggs and they're all infertile except for one or two, guess you'll have to figure out what you did wrong next year when they're able to breed again. But alright, Dakota, I guess it's not as easy as I thought it was, but that doesn't change the fact that you make boatloads of money. I mean, look at you. You're a full-time reptile breeder. You are just rolling in cash. No. No, I am not. At least being a reptile breeder and probably one of the most stressful jobs I had, it is the most inconsistent with profits that I get to rake in. Now, I frequently compare breeding reptiles to almost like farming. Yeah, you know what you say about the farms. Sometimes the land treats you right, and sometimes it is a cruel, cruel mistress. I tell you what. I'm Texan, so I can make fun of Southern people. Yeah, sometimes I have good years, sometimes I have bad years, but it is very inconsistent and it fluctuates such a wide amount. Speaking of making things difficult and not making any money, we can talk about the crested geckos, for instance. I had a year last year in 2020. Last year in 2020, where I made $0 from my crested gecko breeders. I had 3 breeders going, all super Dalmatians. I expected, using that good old snake math, I expected a couple $1,000s from them, and they gave me infertile egg after infertile egg for the entire season. I couldn't figure out what was going on, I paired them together, they were giving me infertiles, I repaired, I made sure the female had enough calcium, I was checking calcium sacs, and I was wondering, what's going on, man? Why am I not getting eggs? Please give me one fertile clutch of eggs. That's the funny thing, I didn't discover till actually very early this year with my first clutch of eggs was the fact that superworms, or the super beetles, whatever the beetle forms to, I can't remember what they're called, they managed to actually get inside that enclosure, lay eggs, and I had baby superworms that actually, when the eggs were laid, were crawling into the egg. This is the point where I was just using straight loose substrate and no lay box, so they would bury them, superworms would get in them, crawl into there, and then the eggs would decimate because there's a giant air hole and they would die. I didn't realize that, and those are just some of the things that just go wrong that makes you think, oh, this job's not very easy, and oh, I'm not making any money this year, am I? The one thing I will say about being a reptile breeder is it definitely is exciting, it keeps you on your toes. Just not in the good way, not in the way you want, more in the stressful pulling your hat out of the way because you just don't know what's going on half the time. Archie, how did you get through? You keep getting in the set, Archie. You keep getting through the baby gate. How do you do it? How you keep getting through, Mr. Archie? Oh my god. One thing I definitely will say is you do make a lot of money selling your reptiles. You make a pretty good gross profit. I believe in my first year of breeding, or maybe 2 or 3 years when I started getting it down, I made quite a bit of money, anywhere in that $15,000 to $20,000 range, which wasn't bad for working a job and also breeding reptiles. But here's the thing that people don't really think about. That is your gross profit. Let's talk about the net. Now, you just don't magically snap your fingers and all of a sudden you've got really good, proven breeder quality animals that you breed and then make money and sell. All of that stuff costs money. There are thousands of dollars into the animals themselves, the enclosures, feeding the animals, making sure the animals are okay, any vet visits that might happen. All these above really eat at the profits you just thought you were making with that easy money. It is, heartbreaking, I guess, is the right word, when you see all the money you've made and then see how all the money that it's cost you throughout the year. Because if you're a full-time thing, you should be keeping books. And those books are your worst enemy, I'll be honest with you. I think I'm in my 4th or 5th year doing this now, and I have still not hit that positive mark. I am still in the negative from all the money that I've sunk into this. People look at me and they're like, oh, you're tokay geckos, dude, you're like one of the few that actually breed tokay geckos. You must be making hella money off of them. Little do they know I spend around $70 to $80 a month on the crickets, and I get eggs once a year. So you do the math on that. $80 times 12 months for just the crickets alone, not everything else you gotta do for them. And then, like, I don't know, maybe I make 2 or 3 grand off of the actual animals I sell. It don't look good. It's not looking good for old Dakota over here. So yeah, that's the basic gist of what's going on here. Although through the public's eye, I guess, or at shallow level, you can see, oh wow, look, you sell these things for thousands and thousands of dollars. You must be rich. But what you don't see is just the multitude of expenses you have in feeders, whether that be mice, rats, crickets, roaches, anything like that. Not to mention the housing costs and just the time it takes to put into cleaning, substrate changes, anything like that adds up to either cutting even, or in most cases for the first 4 to 5 years of actually breeding reptiles, just eating that profit and being in the negative. Alrighty folks, I think I am gonna cut it here. I went on a longer ramble than I really thought I was going to. However, I do want to touch up on this topic a little bit further. There are a couple of other things I want you guys to know before breeding reptiles in. I could really actually going a lot more into the money side of things, or the business side of how everything's done. What really does it take to breed ball pythons or breed crested geckos, tokay geckos? How much money do you have to sink into it? How much profits can you expect out of it? Things like that. So yeah, let me know in the comments comment section. Which one would you guys rather see? Would you guys want to continue on to this stuff? Talk a little bit more about the business side, talk a little bit more of some other stuff about breeding reptiles. Make sure to like the video, leave me a comment, and I might do another one on Monday. But that is going to wrap it up for today. However, if you had not gotten enough of this DBCB Exotics content goodness, we got a couple of videos, we got a playlist right here, a couple of awesome videos I've got going on, and over there or somewhere over here, I might be where you hit the subscribe button, which I would really appreciate if you did. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much. Until next time, goodbye.